Zohran Mamdani is the Democratic Party's candidate to be the next mayor of New York City. That came after Mamdani won the party primary last month and by a pretty large margin. Back then, he beat the overwhelming favourite, Andrew Cuomo, in the final round of voting. Mamdani won 56.2% of the vote to Andrew Cuomo's 43.8%. In reality, he won 125,000 more votes than the former governor of the state. It wasn't even close. It should be added, this primary had a massive turnout too. Over 1 million ballots were cast, making it the largest turnout in an NYC primary since 1989. And of course, remember, this is a closed primary. Only registered Democrats could vote, which made Mamdani's massive win all the more impressive. But despite losing, Andrew Cuomo has decided to still run as an independent. He announced that on X, posting this video.
Hello, I'm Andrew Cuomo. And unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know that the Democratic primary did not go the way I had hoped. To the 440,000 New Yorkers who voted for me, a sincere thank you. Thank you for believing in me, in my agenda, and in my experience. And I am truly sorry that I let you down. But as my grandfather used to say, when you get knocked down, learn the lesson and pick yourself back up and get in the game. And that is what I'm going to do. The fight to save our city isn't over. Only 13% of New Yorkers voted in the June primary. The general election is in November, and I am in it to win it. My opponent, Mr. Mamdani, offers slick slogans, but no real solutions. We need a city with lower rent, safer streets, where buying your first home is once again possible, where childcare won't bankrupt you. That's the New York City we know. That's the one that is still possible. You haven't given up on it, and you deserve a mayor with the experience and ideas to make it happen again, and the guts to take on anyone who stands in the way. Every day I'm going to be hitting the streets, meeting you where you are, to hear the good and the bad, problems and solutions. Because for the next few months, it's my responsibility to earn your vote. So let's do this. I'll see you out there.
That video has, as of this afternoon, 13 million impressions, 4.8 thousand likes. Seems impressive, right? But wait, because Zohran Mamdani, who beat Cuomo for the Democrat nomination, is in his replies. And he shared a link to contribute to his campaign, and it has a hell of a lot of likes. I think it's gone up even since then. It's over 150,000 likes there. I think it's even more. Some ratio. Besides Cuomo, Eric Adams, the former New York City mayor, is also looking to stand as an independent. He was asked if he thought Mamdani was an anti-Semite by Israeli journalist Neria Krauss.
Do you think that Mamdani is an anti-Semite?
Yes, I do. I think that when you're in the streets, after what we saw took place on October 7th, when you're in the street either the next day or days later and don't immediately denounce it, when you're unwilling to talk about global intifada.
You won't talk about global empanada, fritada, enchilada? How many foodstuffs can you list, Eric? It's a real challenge. This guy is, by the way, just happily calling somebody from his city, he's an anti-Semite, he's saying it to a journalist from Israel. By the way, the Zionist lobby is going after Mamdani. We can laugh, and he's ratioing Cuomo to hell right now, and Eric Adams looks like a bum. He can barely complete sentences. But they are really going to go after Mamdani. I think he'll win, my view. He's got a long way to go. Helena, quickly, could one of Cuomo or Adams beat Mamdani to become NYC mayor this November?
I mean, it's such a temper tantrum that these people are throwing, right? Is that they lose their own primary. Didn't even run because he knew he was going to lose in the case of Eric Adams, right? And there was apparently a billionaire-backed campaign to try and get two of them to drop out, including Curtis Lewa, the Republican candidate. The establishment is such an absolute whiny bitch that they can't even agree on a candidate, and they're all wanting to run on their own egos whilst also thinking that they should earn the right of the other voters as well, because if there is a split anti-Mamdani vote. And even on the current polling, where they potentially do collaborate, and one of them is chosen as the chosen billionaire-backed candidate to beat up on the socialists, right? Mamdani still wins, right? Because actually, people don't support Israel in the United States to the level they did, especially not in Democratic Party, right? There was a really great segment on CNN by Steve Konaki showing changing attitudes, where in 2017, in terms of sympathy with Israel or Palestine, Israel were at plus 14 amongst Democratic Party voters, right? They're now plus 44 for the Palestinians, right? An over 50-point swing from Israel to Palestine in terms of sympathy amongst the Democratic voter base, right? So all of this anti-Semitism stuff will totally not stick in terms of trying to smear Mamdani so people not vote for him. People don't care. They care about the cost of living. They care about what's happening on their streets in their lives. They don't care about what's happening in the Middle East when it comes to the New York City mayor. And if they did, they'd be pro-Palestine rather than pro-Israel. Also, as one last point, very quickly, if people are going to get angry at the phrase global intifada, they need to be very, very willing to explain exactly why they think the first intifada was unjustified. They have to, right? Because if they can't do that, they don't understand what the hell they're talking about. All they're saying is, heard an Arabic word, and it's very scary. Because first intifada, completely non-violent, apart from attacks by the IDF on civilian protesters, and reprisals against military troops by people who are trying to fight back against being attacked for protesting and for striking and for engaging in civil disobedience. It won international solidarity with Palestine for the first time in half a century, especially from the West, in a way that it didn't at any other time. This non-violent civil disobedience. And the idea that that is a bad thing or that shouldn't be globalized in terms of extending sympathy to Palestine, like, that's indefensible as a position to oppose intifada in that manner. You can talk what I want about the second intifada, whatever, that's a different position. But if you want to oppose the term global intifada, explain to me in great detail why you think the first intifada was unjustified. I'll wait.
Yeah, I don't think Eric Adams is playing at that level, right? I mean, he literally has one line, which is Zohran Mamdani can't even condemn the Intifada. He calls it like the frittata enchilada empanada. I don't even think he knows what Intifada means. I don't think he even knows what it means. The fact that this guy is running one of the most important cities in the English-speaking world, in the world, full stop. I mean, crikey, that's an indictment, right? That's a hell of an indictment.